you have to use AI as a helper. My best analogy is that it's my Iron Man suit, right? And I really think about it that way, which is it's my ability to accelerate my thinking. There's no longer this idea of you start with a blank page. You are able to kind of brainstorm and, well, I wonder what this person said about that. I wonder how I should think about this and so forth. There's also an interesting use case, that's really developing. I think that's not being talked about a lot. Is there's a lot of people that will not confess that they don't know certain things to other humans, but they might do it um, to their agents. And so, as long as you get the proper setting, the one thing I did take off in some of the agents that I use is I turn off memory because I don't want it to be used overly, to my detriment. But I do think the interaction paradigm is changing. I mean, I'll give you an example. I wrote this leadership manual. Essentially, if you think about all the objects that we use, all the products that we use, they all have a user guide, but we humans, the most complex system in the planet, we rarely have written a user guide about ourselves. And so I wrote over the last 25 years this very long document, it's 30 pages, on how to use Bruno essentially as a product. And my teammates love it. Well, I built a GPT on top of it. So now you don't have to
Of
read the book.
course.
You can use a GPT for it. I even went as far as doing the same thing with my kids. I have two kids, and every year I write them a letter. And a few years ago, I kind of went a little bit further than the letter. I probably wrote a 30, 40-page book. And I realized, when you have two kids, they're not going to read the book. And so I created what I called the Dad GPT, which is the GPT they can use if they can't get a hold of me. And it will kind of source from this book I've written them over the years. My point there is that I think we are in an era where we have extremely powerful new interfaces that we absolutely are going to have to harness on a daily basis, just like you use your email. And at the same time, we also have to remember it's the human that is responsible and accountable. And so you got to be careful how far you're using these tools and stay, true to what we do best. Imagine, make decisions based on ethical and moral reasons and so forth. Not everything is binary, right? Most of our
Yeah.
lives is in the gray area. And so we got to make sure we stay true to that.